So this is like kind of the breakdown of the basic separation of our life. So oneness and dualism, emptiness and form, the absolute and the relative, enlightenment and delusion, the true self and the ego, God and the world. So Zen practice is about seeing that they are the same, that there's really no separation between these two aspects. So understanding that intellectually is important, and it's a big step to be able to get that, just to really get that there is no separation, and have the awareness to maintain that, to continually get that, and not get sucked into one side or the other. To really be able to maintain that awareness that there is no separation between these is huge. It's a huge awareness practice. And what we really go for here in this practice, in the Zen practice, is the experience of the non-separation. The experience, the feelings and the experience and the intimate. What does it feel like, and what is my unexplainable experience that only I have, that I can feel when I realize, when I manifest this non-separation. So that's kind of the basic, the way I'm explaining it. That's the basics of our practice. We have these different aspects of the separation, and then we practice to reconcile this. And so, basically that's a paradox, that they are the same. How can emptiness be form? It's not logical. We can't understand that. Well, we can understand it to the extent that we can understand any paradox. So it's tricky. That's a simple breakdown of it. But to really go into what it means and how to see it, and how to experience it, and how to let go of what's in our way, to get to that is very complex. And so it's not easy to talk about. It's not easy to break down. So the koans are meant to kind of get under that logical trying to explain things. It's trying to let go of the rational thinking and go for more of the experience of this resolution to the paradox of life. So first of all, I just wanted to put it out there. I'm going to read them again, and then I'm going to let you all, anybody who, if one of these really piques your interest, or you have a question about it, about what it means, please say so. So the basic elements are oneness and dualism, emptiness and form, the absolute and the relative, enlightenment and delusion, true self and ego, God and the world. So you tell me, anybody, just raise your hand and let me know if you have any questions or inspirations about any of those. Start with Margie.
Emptiness and form. I would love a little bit more, or anything you could share about the differences and their connectedness.
Okay.
Dualism, I've heard that term many times, but I really don't have a grasp what it means.
I had this epiphany last week. I was like, how can I bring mindfulness or God into my everyday, like while I'm working, while I'm on the computer, every minute? And I had this epiphany, like, you're in the stream, Tina, we're all in it together. I am God, I am connected. And my question would be, how can I remember that all the time? Without ever forgetting. Ever.
All right.
Can you just touch on the ego and the true self? Like, what is the ego?
I see in all of both a conflict. You know, it's like, again, what the dualism could be.
Can you speak up? I can't hear you.
I think I see a conflict between, it's almost like there's two sides, and they seem to be in conflict in the world, and we have to live within our experience. And so you have the, it's almost like the yin, yin and yang type of philosophy, and yet
I missed
they're,
that.
they're separate.
Yin and yang, add that to the list.
But they're separate, but we all have to live with it. To me, it's sometimes very, very confusing.
Okay. All right, well, start there. Before we just cover the whole list. So emptiness and form. I did talk about this last week.
Oh, okay.
I didn't post it because I wasn't really happy about the tone of my voice.
Well, that was the ego.
So as soon as I work through my issues, I'll post that.
I can wait.
No, talking about it last time, I think gave me a better sense of how to answer it more quickly. So emptiness and form. One of my original, like what I consider a spiritual inspiration, was realizing that mass equals energy. You know, like energy equals mass. Like that is a basic, now scientific fact, scientifically proven fact. The form equals emptiness. And it really did. It blew me away to realize that what we consider the material world, if you speed it up to a certain extent, then it just transforms into something that's pure energy and has no mass. So that's kind of a scientific explanation of form and emptiness. So the emptiness would be like pure energy. Emptiness doesn't mean void or nothing. It really means more like activity without attachment.
Right.
So in Zen terminology, form and emptiness would be like, we have our form, like that we're sitting. We sit in this form.
Mm-hmm.
And the emptiness might be our dropping of our body and mind. Like the emptiness might be the experience of just being here in the form without being attached to it or to anything. So if I'm sitting and I'm focusing on the pain in my leg and I'm just upset, I'm like, oh, I just have so bummed about the pain in my leg, and it's bringing up my anger and my resentment, and I'm pissed off. That's form. That's like manifesting form within form. So the experience of the emptiness would be more like I'm sitting with pain and I'm just letting it go, continually letting it go. And I'm not getting triggered. My anger isn't getting triggered by it because that's empty. I mean, I can tell stories all day about why I'm angry and why this sucks and why it hurts. But the emptiness is to be able to just let that go. It's like processing it spontaneously. So it doesn't mean I'm just sitting here with a blank mind. It's more like I'm able to let go of the things that come up. And when I get stuck on them, or when I start holding on to something, that's when it takes form. And so in my life, in my daily life, if I get upset at work and I disagree, and I really think that person is wrong, and that they must be a bad person because they don't understand what I'm saying, and they won't let me explain myself. I mean, whatever. Then I'm holding on and I'm giving form to that conflict and that separation. So an experience of the emptiness would be like, okay, I'm upset, you're upset. I know we disagree. You know, when you raise your tone of voice, you know, I feel triggered and I feel upset. So I request that we, you know, either take a break and come back and talk about it later when we can both have a clear head, or maybe we can just drop it. And then we're not taking it home, and we're not waking up in the middle of the night thinking about how much that sucked. We're just like done with it, and we let it go. That's the emptiness. That's manifesting emptiness in that situation. So now if you just apply that to everything, then you got it. And dualism. So dualism is thinking that there is taking separation literally. Like duality is like either or. Like the foundation of logic is that something either is or it isn't. There's yes or no. There's only yes or no answers. So there's a duality in our, in our rational thinking, which is good. It's good to have that structure for most of our practical decisions. But on a deeper spiritual level, if we take duality literally, then we actually think that people who disagree with us, who are on the no side, we think that they're really different from us, or that we don't have anything in common. You know, so all of our wars, all of our conflicts at home and abroad are based in the idea that there's other people who are really different than me, and we cannot relate, and so we need to overcome them in order for the right side to win. So that's duality. So the other side would be oneness, which is, okay, we disagree. I can see that we disagree and that we're different. Let's agree to disagree. If we can agree to disagree, then we're manifesting oneness, even though we disagree. Oneness doesn't mean we're all like dancing and partying together and we all agree about everything. That's Burning Man. Oneness means that, yeah, everything sucks, I'm pissed off, things are going bad, people disagree with me, and I know that we still share the same feelings. We all share the same desire to have a good life and to be happy. And so it takes the pressure off thinking that there's something different. realizing